Hi, I'm Alison Byrne. I'm a holistic therapist and teacher, and I've been involved in the field for over 30 years now. I originally started off doing one-to-one therapies and branched into teaching after a couple of years, and then started to get invitations from the media. So I'm regularly on television, radio, other websites, magazines, newspapers. I tend to say yes whenever I'm invited. So I started off when I was 27. I hurt my back and I tried all the regular doctor's hospital routine, and I still ended up in an awful state. I was literally out of work for 9 months. Most of that time was lying on the floor because I couldn't do very much. And then I discovered chelation therapy, which was fairly recently arrived into Ireland. Reiki hadn't even hit Europe at that stage. And I started to have chelations regularly, every week or 2 weeks. And bit by bit, my back was getting better. Now, I was very, very rational. So I told myself it was mind over matter, but it didn't matter. That's fine because the pain was getting easier. So one evening then I decided to lie down as though I were at a healing session for the same length of time, and I would get up a bit better and that would prove my theory. And I got up and I was no better. And then I had to accept there actually was something happening in the energy healing. And from the minute I accepted that this was real, I had to understand how it worked. And that was the beginning of my delving into the holistic field. So I learned about chelation originally, and that opened the door to a whole new way of life to me. I'm never sorry that it had happened. Thank God I don't have the problems with my back anymore. But it was a difficult time, but it was so worth it because it brought me into this whole world. So after a few years, I had this urge to share what I had learnt at that stage. And I was terribly shy, and I couldn't imagine standing or even sitting in front of people and talking. And yet I had this strong, strong urge to share what I knew or what I had learned at that stage. And that urge won. And the first few times I taught was very difficult because I had to push myself to overcome that. And over time, the nerves and everything died down and I started to enjoy it. And I'm so glad that I did, because I'm still teaching. Some of the subjects are still the same. Others are things that I've developed since. But it's never, ever boring or jaded, because every group is different. Every class is different. The same with the therapies. I might be doing, let's say, Reiki for, I've had many, many clients for Reiki. But each one is a new beginning and a new start. And even with the same client, each healing is different, because the client is different and I'm different. So it's always fascinating to see what this session is going to bring, or even when working with students on a course, it's always the course curriculum will get done, but then there's the rest. When you're doing energy work, there is the curriculum and the rest is the things that you get on an energy level that maybe you don't always have words for, and all that area. So I'm very pleased that I had such bad back injury. I wouldn't wish another one on myself, but one of the things I have learned is that we draw different situations to ourselves for our own benefit. We're spiritual beings, and we will use our bodies as vehicles for our spirits to grow. So it was part of my spiritual growth to have a lot of pain at that stage. So a lot of the therapies that I do and the courses that I teach, I have learned, and a lot of them I have developed from working with people. I'm still learning, and I hope that I will always be learning, because it would be really awful to say that's it for the next 50, 60 years, whatever I've left, that'll do. No, life is full of change and ongoing excitement of life. So anyway, have a look at the therapies and the courses that I have on the site and see what appeals to you, and let your intuition guide you. Thank you for visiting.